Hello everybody, this is Craig from Travel and Tartan, and today we are going to do a basic tutorial on Google Flights. Just going to try and make it a little bit easier for you to understand the simple searches that you need to do to try and get the cheapest fares you can. So we're just going to go through this section up here at the top to start with. Over here you have round trip, one way or multi-city. So depending on which one you click is going to alter how the rest of the searches are functioning. So round trip allows you to key in your from and your to, and from and to dates. One way keeps your from and to, but only takes you down to obviously just your one way. And multi-city, I don't really recommend multi-city. You tend to find that you end up paying a lot more money that way. You're almost better just taking a couple of one-way trips instead. Over to passengers, pretty simple. Make sure you choose the number of passengers. A lot of the time I'll actually leave it at 1 just to get an idea of what a single passenger is, and then if I have multiple passengers I'll redo the search with the multiple passenger number so that I can see adding it up. So you got to be a little bit careful though, because you don't always have 2 seats or 3 seats or 4 seats available, which means you have to be ready for that. So you find a flight you want and then you say it's $200, this is great. You go to book it with 4 people and now you don't have the seats available to book it because you only search for 1 person. So it is something to note. Obviously here this is just economy, premium economy, business or first class. Down into the search fields here, you've got a couple of options. At a basic level you can just type in, say, Chicago, or you could type in the airport code, in this case ORD. Another option you have is if you click on that, you can go over here to this plus. If you click this plus, it's going to allow you to key in other airports in the area. So obviously Midway is another one of these Chicago airports close to the city. So if you want to check it, you just hit that, and you can obviously go down as far and away as you want from where you start off from. So now you've got ORD and MDW for Midway as well. And then you just hit this checkbox. On the other side, again, you can do exactly the same thing. If you're looking for, say, JFK, you could just type in JFK. It's going to bring that up and you could select it. Alternatively, if you were looking for New York, you could hit NYC, and it's going to, if you choose this, it's going to give you all the New York City airports at the one time. So that gives you a nice search functionality. And we're just going to hit JFK for this search. And then really it's your choice. We're going to do round trip. So now over here, if you click on this, it brings up your calendar. And this is actually pretty cool. It's going to start giving you prices as well as your dates. So it's really easy to start to see. You wanted to go in originally, you wanted to go on a Saturday, but if you go on the Sunday, it's $20 cheaper and you're flexible and it doesn't really matter to you, then great, you've just saved yourself some money by doing nothing other than seeing the dates that you can travel in one big file. We are just going to choose the 8th, and then coming back, we're just going to choose the 12th. However, if we chose the 16th, we'd save ourselves a little bit of money. You can see it's green there. Now when you're done, just hit the done key. So it's going to take you to the in-depth screen now, so it's going to allow you to do some other things. It's going to start to bring up all your flights down here, but we may not be ready to look at these yet. We've got some search options up here that will allow us to drill into some different things. So let's just take a look at those. First of all, you've got bags. This is very important if you have a check bag or a carry-on bag. The reason for that is if you do not select these now, then the price you're going to get from your search queries may not be the real price that you want to pay if you're going to have a check bag or a carry-on bag with you. So it is important that you give yourself, unless you don't really care and you're just seeing the different prices, I would recommend that you choose, for example, I want to take a carry-on bag, and it's going to make sure it's searching for carry-on bags. Stops, very simple, non-stop, any stops, 1 or 2. I like to search wide open. I don't tend to pigeonhole myself in anywhere specific because I want to see what's available. But if you were a person that was literally just looking for a non-stop flight, then there you go, you could hit that. Bear in mind that obviously non-stop flights, everybody wants non-stop flights. So if you choose non-stop flights, you may be on a route that's very, very expensive for non-stop. Whereas if you take a one-stop, you might find that it's far, far cheaper. So bear that in mind when you're choosing your search criteria here. Okay, now we have airlines. Nice choices here for the airlines. To start with, at the top you have the alliances. Star Alliance, One World, SkyTeam. So Star Alliance obviously is United in the States, One World's American, SkyTeam's Delta. These are a little bit more useful if you're starting to move out into other parts of the world and you maybe have connecting flights, you want to stay with the same alliance, that sort of thing. But if you just wanted to say United, you could make an easy way of doing that. Just click here. Here's all the airlines that Google is searching through right now. So if you decided that you didn't want to search for American, you could just click off of American and it will search for everything else but American. Alternatively, you could do the opposite and say you only want to search for American. You hit the only button and now only American flights will show up. So some nice choices there. Price is pretty simple, just a drag and just tell you what you're willing to pay for your flights. Right now, anything under $6.50. Times, it's quite a nice feature here. You've got outbound and return flights. This is your departure and this is your arrival times. So maybe you say you want something after 7 a.m. and before noon. So that's going to give you the departures that are available between that time. You could say an arrival time of whenever you want, 10 to 4. Be a little bit careful if you use both of these at one time. You'll find it very difficult to have a 5 a.m. flight that's non-stop that arrives after 10 a.m. So I would choose one or other of these when you're searching unless you're being very specific. And obviously with the return flight, same deal, just search it as you need it. Connecting airports, not really something from the connecting airport perspective that I use. Having said that, if you were looking to go to a specific airport for something, then maybe there's a priority pass lounge that you want to go to, maybe there's a alliance lounge you want to go to, something specific you want to do at an airport, maybe it's just a nice airport and you want to see it. If you had a choice, then you could choose specific airports. I think up here is maybe a little bit more helpful, the layover duration. So if you do have a flight that is not non-stop, this gives you at least a way of saying, okay, my layover needs to be 2 hours, but it can't be more than 10 hours. More over here, so this is your flight duration. This is your entire travel time. So if you have a direct flight, so here's 2 non-stop flights. Delta has this one set to 2 hours and 23 minutes, and this one set to 2 hours and 26 minutes. So I don't know, the gates must be further apart, who knows. But point being that that's not really going to be helping you. This is not going to help you for non-stop. It's going to help you for multi-stop. There's a one stop there or 2 stops. So if your flight duration you want no more than 8 hours, then it'll show you everything that's less than 8 hours from the beginning to the end. Down here you've got show separate tickets or hide separate tickets. Basically this is when there's more than one leg on your flight, Google will split them up. They'll find the best prices for either legs and it can show you that or it can hide that. You will have to book those as separate tickets though, so you'll have to go to multiple airlines websites to book those. So bear that in mind. Right, so now we are down at the bottom here. Let's actually choose our flights. We go over here and hit this arrow and it's going to open up this little bit. This is the flight we've decided on. So here's the information you get. Departure time, arrival time, airports, telling you it's Delta, it's an economy flight, the aircraft it's on, and the flight number. A little bit of information over here for the specific flight. So if this is the flight you want, just go ahead and hit the select flight. One thing I forgot to mention, you can sort over here. So if you hit your sort field, you can sort by any of these you want. Sometimes I sort by price. I'm not sure I necessarily use best flights because I'm always looking for something different. So usually I'll search for price just to see what the cheapest price is so I can start working from there. But obviously you could do it from any way you want. But that's going to search for the cheapest price. And it's still Delta. Well done, Delta. Again, this is just the information you've got for the flight, and if you like it, go ahead and click select flight, and it's going to start putting the price together for you. We have a total price of $172 over here, Chicago to New York. It's round trip, one person. Like I said before, just make sure you've got that correct before you go to the site to book it. Right now it's telling us this is a basic economy, giving you no checked baggage allowance. It does give you one carry-on baggage allowance. As you can see down here, it is basic economy. So you do have to be a little bit careful with that. If you don't want basic economy, and here's the differences. So basic economy costs you the same as what it is. It's an overhead bin access. You get no seat selection, no ticket changes, or no upgrades. So if there were many people, 2 people, whatever, traveling with you, you can't choose seats, so you very well may not be together when you're sitting down. You may also have the shittiest seats. You are going to have the shittiest seats. So you're probably going to have the middle seats. So good luck with that. If you choose the economy, you're going to pay an extra $30, but $30 is basically going to give you your seat that you can choose when you book the flight. It does tell you down here you get a personal item and you get a carry-on item, but your checked baggage is going to cost you. So if you want to choose this fare instead of the basic economy, just hit choose this fare. And as you can see, that price has jumped by the $30. A couple of other things you can do here. You can change your flight. So if you realize I didn't get the right one, just hit your change flight and then it will just bring it back to the original screen where you can choose your flights that you want. Don't need that, so I'm just that. And down at the bottom we get baggage information. This is actually pretty useful. So it's telling you it's for your entire trip. So this is what's included. Your first checked bag is $60, which is $30 each way, and your second checked bag is $80, or $40 each way. So if you want to book that, once you're ready, just go ahead and hit select. What it's going to do is it's going to bounce you to delta.com. It's going to use the search information you've built, and it's going to take you straight to being able to pay for it. So that's us at the end of the video. Very basic search capabilities that we just went through. In future videos we'll start to look at a little bit more in depth. There's certainly a ton more in Google Flights that I want to take you through, but we're already pretty long video right now, so I don't want to waste any more of your time. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.